Here we go. Here we go. Here for the last preseason game, which it seems like it's been forever for the preseason. Finally, get it over with, move on and get to week one. But we got one against the Niners to end off the preseason, the fourth game. It seems like it's forever. It's taken forever to get to this point. So,
it's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of a big fan to go back on potentially going to two preseason type schedule type game situation. Kind of tired of having all these 3-game type situations. I think most coaches know their team by 2 games, give or take. But here you go. We got another one for the Chargers for a 4th game this coming up tomorrow, 5:30 p.m.
It's just an opportunity for the NFL to make more money. We all know it. It's a power grab.
So money.
It is what it is. There's plenty to talk about in this one. It'll be interesting, guys. We are going early. I know Kyle couldn't join, but we just wanted to come early and hop on right now and get it going so you guys can hopefully we have enough people here to ask some good questions. So it looks like Miguel's here. Got the blue chews ready. Hey, Pappy, what's going on, guys? So plenty to talk about, guys. So let's get into it.
Let's get it. Bull Bros, let's.
Here, man. You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Miguel over here, dude.
Yeah, what does this guy think he is, dude?
Come on now.
He is, dude.
Come on now. Let's keep it classy. It's a family show, buddy.
Family show. Kids are watching.
Family
Kids
show.
watching,
What's going on, dude? Come on.
Kids
we got to keep
here,
that PG rating. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, let's talk about here. So, yeah, let's show the slides.
So, we are playing against the Niners. This is the 4th preseason game for us, 3rd preseason game for them. Last week, they did also play some of their starters, too, against the Raiders for a few drives. So they had the defensive starters and offensive players out there. Same thing for the Chargers. We had our offensive starters and our offensive or defensive starters out there. This week, I don't anticipate that to be the case at all. It does not look to for sure for the Chargers, and I'm pretty sure for the Niners, they will not be playing the starters and everything. But I did kind of want to point out, because I know there was the talk of the town, who's Justin Herbert is dating, blah, blah, blah. I thought this was pretty hilarious. I saw this on Facebook about the whole thing, poking fun at it, basically. Hate to break it to you, Madison Beer fans, but this is why she'll never be Justin's number 1 in comparison to Ladd McConkey. You know what? Hey, he's a 2nd-round pick, first off. And he had 82 catches, 1,149 yards, 7 touchdowns as a rookie. Rookie record for receiving yards in a playoff game, 0 Grammy wins. But he's not a musician, man. Like, nothing. Famous for being a star football player. That just happens to be hot, I guess. I think it's hilarious. The account was from Quisama bin Johnston. So I think it's a pretty hilarious name. But in comparison, look like Madison Beer, undrafted, no career receptions or yards, 0 playoff appearance, 0 Grammy wins. Wow. Famous for being hot first and foremost. That's about it. So I thought it was pretty hilarious just poking fun at the whole thing with, that whole Madison Beer conversation and everything too. But too funny, man. Too funny to see. So I thought it was hilarious to see that. I don't know if you guys have all been seeing all that information about what's going on with Branson Beer and Justin Herbert and everything, but it just made me laugh looking at this. So good stuff all around, man.
It's pretty interesting. I mean, she's a babe, though. It's all good. It's all good. But look, who knows? Who knows what the situation is? But good on him, man. I was kind of hoping he'd get with that chess chick. She seemed kind of geeky, a little bit nerdy, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Remember there was some conversation that he was like dating that ESPN chick. What was her name again?
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but yeah, she was. he was hanging around with her for a while and everything too. Maybe he was just randomly bumped into Madison Beer's, music video recording. I don't know. Or maybe he's in the recording. How about that? Like, let's see
Who
that.
knows? Who knows?
We'll see what happens here. So pretty funny, but quarterbacks get the chicks, quarterbacks get the chicks, dude. So
QBs get the chicks, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's interesting conversation. Fans like to have it, but whatever. Justin Herbert's also a pretty private type of person. He's not really someone that's going to go out there and, he's just not that guy, right? So, yeah, anyways, pretty interesting.
No doubt. But just to move on to the next slide here. Game day fitters. We're going with the whites. Top to bottom with the powder blue socks. Can't go wrong with that. It's funny. The last day that I was at training camp, they were selling some socks there too. And it was the same socks that the players wear. And I almost bought a big old pack of them. It was probably a pack. I mean, maybe it could have been just 2 socks for all I know, because it was a huge pack, but those are some dang long socks that I'm never going to wear. Anyways, I mean, we got some pants. We got some Chargers pants for $5, and I got them things. Those things are tighter than can be, dude.
Yeah, those are pretty funny too. We were literally trying them on in the sidelines, looking like a bunch of doofuses. And then these guys came over. You guys the Bolt Bros? We're like, what's up?
You caught me with my pants down here, dude.
Funny. You had to be able to appreciate it, but it was pretty darn hilarious. So I was like, oh boy. Yeah.
It was so good. But we're going with the all white fits. I love seeing those out there too. I think they're great, clean looking jerseys too, all around.
Love them. Yeah.
Love them. Can't go wrong with them at all. So
it's funny. Cool. I didn't love these jerseys for a long time. And the more I've seen them, the more it makes a lot of sense, just because you got the white helmet. It's just white. Got the numbers. It looks pretty sweet. Again, I've never been a fan of the yellow, period.
Yeah.
So the whole yellow, I'm not going to be a fan of, guys. Just so you guys know, that's fine. White's classy, all the above. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like them a lot more now. I don't like wearing white because you get one little thing, you get a little bit of sketty on it or whatever, and it's you throw the damn shirt away. You can't fix it. You can't fix it. You got one little, like, that's why I'm okay with the off-white, but the white, it's like, you can't fix white. It's just, you don't make it white again. I don't know. I'm a little
pretty tough. I have a Doug Flutie jersey, and I wore that at the Texans game because I was like, hey, I've worn this one at a game, so let's go do that. All white, basically. And I looked down, and I could find so many different stains on there. It's terrible, rough as a fan. It's rough as a fan.
I'm throwing away 3 shirts right now. They're white, and I got one little stain. I'm like, can't do it. Can't wear the damn thing anymore. Gotta go. Dude. That's why I won't buy white. I just don't buy white. Like, so again, it's just my take, but that looks good. A dirty jersey looks good. So I'm cool with it. But anyways,
try to eat watermelon with a white shirt. It ain't going to happen, bro. That thing's going to get nice red spots all over it, dude. You're going to get watermelon stains. It's impossible.
The last thing I ate was I ate birria tacos with some consomme. Ooh, that was dripping everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. What am I doing? Yeah, it was bad. I was like, gotta throw this thing away.
Yeah. So good.
Oh boy.
But love the jerseys. Whites on whites. Great stuff too out there too. So, and they will be playing on grass, so they'll get some grass stains on there and everything too. So, and some dirt. So moving on to the next slide. So quarterbacking wise, I mean, I'm not really going to talk too much about, the whole QB2 situation. I think we put that one to bed. It's Trey Lance is basically QB2, who will be getting a drive or two in this one. And then Taylor Henneke will also get a drive or two. And then it'll be this guy right here.
Pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, DJ Uyungule. And I'm going to keep calling him that. I don't know if I can never pronounce his last name or not. But I'm kind of excited to see DJ out there and see a really full slate from him, because we really haven't seen a whole heck of a lot from him where, he's had a great deep throw down to, I believe it was to either Campbell or KLS, that one game where he just aired it out for 49 yards. He had a pretty good little showing in the Hall of Fame game, but this is really going to give us a bigger sample size of DJ as a quarterback and what he could do in this game. So we always thought we're going to stash him and not really play him at all. But this is going to be the game to really show him and at least have some tape on him to figure out how he could potentially fit in this offense. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. One other thing I would say too, I don't know that we're going to see any type of trade for any of our QBs. I mean, I'm sure they probably got calls here and there, right? I'm sure, I'm sure that they might be saying, hey, Trey Lance looked pretty good, blah, 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 but here's the thing, dude. I watched the Patriots and Giants game last night. Freaking DeVito gassed them up, dude. He had like 3 touchdowns. He looked incredible. I'm like, man, so I started thinking to myself, I'm like, probably not going to get any type of trade value. Some of these backups are looking pretty good with these other teams. So, I mean, you never know, right? But I guess I kind of would have thought they would have just tucked DJ away, but I think they'll try and squeeze him onto the practice squad. And then, maybe they'll take some calls on, Heineke and Trey Lance. But I think QB3, I think we'll have 3 QBs. I think Trey Lance or probably Taylor's going to be gone, but I don't think they'll just tuck DJ away unless they think they can tuck Taylor away on the practice squad.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting situation there because, I mean, remember last year late in preseason before camp is when we traded for Taylor Heineke. And so we ended up picking him up and bringing him in. It's going into this game, I thought it was interesting because they're only going to give a couple drives to Trey Lance. I think it's solidifying him as QB2 at that point.
Yeah.
But really, it almost makes me feel like it's solidified for QB3 with Taylor, too, because they're only giving him a couple drives, too. I mean, he got banged up in the last game, too. But it's really about this guy to shine, allowing DJ to go out there and make some plays, see how he looks out there, controlling this offense for a majority of the game. I'm interested to really see how that goes. And now, do we really try to put 4 quarterbacks on this team? Obviously, think about practice squad and all that kind of stuff. We'll see where that ends up leading with DJ. But it's his time to shine. And I'm excited to see that too, for sure. Yeah.
I'm interested to see if he can do an out. There are certain routes that have to be precision timed, right? And I think that's where Trey Lance struggled, right? There's these touch passes, but the out, you got to remember when they're doing an out, which is, a 5-yard out, 10-yard out or whatever, that's in rhythm. Like that has to be 100% in rhythm. And so does DJ get that done? Because look, there's college open and there's NFL open, right? College open is like, hey, is wide open. And he's like, hey, I throw it to me. NFL open is he's covered, but you got to put the ball in the right spot. You understand the difference there, right? So that's why accuracy is going to be so big. So I'm curious to see how accurate he can be, if he can control the ball. I don't know if he's going to use his legs or not. But again, at camp, James will attest to this. He looked better than Trey Lance by a long shot.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see, right? It's going to boil down. I mean, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I think the 53-man roster benches will probably have more talks about that next week for sure.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to see it too. And I was just going to go back to that whole conversation. You talk about Tommy DeVito looking pretty good for the Giants. I call him chicken cutlets because that's what his whole conversation was all about. But the thing is, Brian Dable is a very good offensive coordinator. And at this point now, what is he in year 4, I think, as a head coach? I mean, his job is on the line at this point. And
big time.
You go and look at like what they have with quarterbacks over there. Jackson Dart's been looking really good. And to be honest, I was talking to a buddy yesterday and he's like, I don't think the Giants will they'll win one game in the first 11 weeks, basically is what he's saying, especially if you have Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Yeah.
And I've been saying, well, I think Russell Wilson's going to get benched by week 4 versus the Chargers. And I think Jackson Dart's going to start. And I think it's the best move for you all around. Why I'm bringing that up is because when you have a head coach he is a head coach and the offensive coordinator essentially for that team, he knows how to get the best out of quarterbacks. And I think that's the same thing about Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has the ability to really get the best out of each quarterback and the best out of each player, buying into his philosophies. And as you could see, Trey Lance, young guy, young cat, looking really good. DJ Uiagalelei, if he could be that guy and just up his game, man, what if there's a chance that we just to say, hey, we'll go with DJ's 3 because we go with the youth and then just let Taylor walk at that point too. Do you want to keep experience or do you want to try to get something that might be down the road? Because I don't see us looking at 4 quarterbacks regardless and putting 2 on, say, a practice squad. It just doesn't make sense. So we'll see.
I think there's too many good players on this team that you got to get on the field, right? Look at like RJ Mickens, Tequezi Bridges, right? They're 7th round picks, but they look pretty good. And then what's his name? a purchase, right? He's looked pretty good as well too. Marlo Wax has looked really good, right? So, I think there's a lot of some of these undrafted free agents look freaking good.
Really good.
Actually, I'm curious, did that guy get put on the IR? The guy that Rogers, the QP.
Nope, not yet. I got a slide that we're going to chat about him here shortly.
Okay, cool. Wasn't quite sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good players on this team, and it's very, very tough to basically figure out what the heck you're going to do with this whole practice squad team. The thing that I've been emphasizing a lot about the Chargers is the philosophy that Jim Harbaugh is trying to preach, physicality and everything too. Yeah. And does it hit top to bottom with this team, even in the 90-man squad? And it really, truly does. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see on these teams. So, and I've heard even to say, like, when we're on the Roundtable podcast, AFC West Roundup show on Tuesdays, and I'm going to plug it 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It seems like these guys talk a little bit more about like their back end players not having the same, philosophy, physicality, kind of that same mentality all around on their team. And so I feel very much like the Chargers from top to bottom has that philosophy of just being dogs all around. And I love seeing that too. And a lot of these undrafted guys are just finding ways to just make plays. And so going to this game, I'm loving to see what DJ could bring to this team. I mean, he's a highly touted recruit coming out of high school. He is a guy that's got plenty of skill set. I'm excited to see a big sample size of him. Yep.
I agree. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I like I said, he's definitely got skill set. So we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows, right? I think
never know.
It's going to be interesting. That'll be fun to watch.
I can't wait. So, and then moving on to the next player here too. Obviously, this is a guy that was the talk of the town. You know it. You got our guy right here, Raheem Sanders. And this is going to be a big game for him. I don't know why his shoulder pads look like he's from the 90s, by the way, in this photo, or he's just got massive shoulders or whatnot. But he's got some big looking shoulders in this one. And he's a big dude. He's big dude. And it was interesting. I saw that there was this article talking about Chargers potentially looking to trade off Kamani Vidal and, putting in Raheem Sanders. And then you got to think about, you get Hassan Haskins too. He's a great special teams guy in addition to, but that running back room is pretty heavy right now. So there is a battle for RB3 at this point. Now, I'm not sure if Raheem Sanders could be RB3. You probably would go with the Hassan Haskins or Kamani Vidal, but there's like 5 very good running backs on this team. Albeit I think Najee Harris will probably, there's rumors that he might actually end up going on the IR for the first 4 weeks of the season. He hasn't, and I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of him practicing at this point. Is that eye getting better? I'm not sure, but that does leave the ability to have one of these guys finding a way on this team. And Raheem Sanders might be that RB4 if Najee is essentially out for the first 4 weeks. So he's got to see a big game from this guy. And I think we have seen glimpses of him being really good, but it's definitely one of those guys to keep an eye on in this one.
So so Najee is listed as an active non-football injury, but it's interesting. So they might put him on the IR. Again, you can only pull 8 people off the IR during the season. So it's kind of an interesting, so you got to be a little bit, cautious about that. But, look, at least they have Marion Hampton and, you might go Kamani Vidal and then Raheem Sanders, and then you'd have 3 running backs, right? So I think 3 running backs is pretty realistic. What 3 is it going to be is the question mark, right? And again, Haskins is a good special teams player. So, but the other question is, you might say, well, okay, we don't need Haskins. Let's go with Raheem Sanders and Vidal and Amarian Hampton. Let's bring in Marlo Wax. Can Marlo Wax be like the special teams guy? Yeah. And because I think Delshon Phillips is also hurt too, isn't he?
No, he got activated this week.
Is he back
so
now?
He's back,
Okay.
yeah. And so he finally got back. And I think this is like the first time that you'll probably see a little bit of him in this game too.
Okay. Well, that's good then. Yeah, because he was supposed to be the special team ace. Like Ficken wanted him, and he made a big deal about getting him. So it's like, hey man, he ain't available to go. Then it's going to be interesting. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Who knows?
Who knows? And by the way, Eddie, man, I hope you're doing okay, man. I saw you had got a car accident and everything too. And, hopefully you're fine. But I did love your comment that you did throw out here too. Harbaugh keeps hinting that he's keeping 23 players on offense, 27 players on defense, along with 3 special teams players. And who those 3 special team players are. I mean, we already know who the heck they are. But yeah, it is a tough thing to kind of figure out what you're going to do. If it's 23 players on offense, now you're going to think, okay, is it going to get a little bit more thin at the tight end position, or it's going to be the O-line position not being as dominant as you might think. Now, you're going to also have 16 slots on the practice squad too, and hopefully you could slide some of the guys on the practice squad too. But it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing. And when we do get the 53-man squad, obviously we will talk about that and go through each player. And do we feel good about that position at that point when it is a completed 53-man squad?
Yeah, H4 says I would look to void Najee's contract. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like, what the hell was he doing? Messing around with these five. I mean, look, it's 4th of July. I understand, but I mean, that wasn't a sparkler in the eye. I wouldn't imagine. That was probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. Like, did he light it on the ground and then like he put his face next to it and it hits him right in the, I mean, who knows, right? But my point is, you got to wonder if there's something on that, but who knows? Maybe his eye will be okay. It's just going to take more time to heal. Who knows?
And that's the thing. A lot of these contracts with any player, they generally have things and activities they should not be doing on there. And I mean, I'm not sure if it's, hey, you can't light a firework on 4th of July kind of thing, but bottom line, a kind of a non-football based injury that's kind of something that you could have easily avoided. Maybe there's some grounds to that. I was also just going to end one thing too on the running back situation. Nyheim Hines. What do we do with him?
He's looked pretty good too. He's a special teams guy too. The other thing too, we haven't said much about the running backs too. Pass protection is huge, right? And I think that's where Kamani Vidal has struggled. Someone like Raheem Sanders is a lot bigger, and he would protect Justin Herbert a little more than potentially a Kamani Vidal. I mean, think about it. You got Max Crosby coming at you. Kamani's like, I got to stick my head in here. It's tough, man. But Raheem Sanders, he can go toe to toe, right? He's 240, right? So, anyways, there's a lot of things to think about in this entire conversation. So it'll be interesting, guys. I mean, we're going to see some really strange cuts, and people are going to be like, holy crap, how'd that happen? But look, you can't keep them all. I mean, that's the point.
No.
So
can't keep them all like Pokemon, dude. Gotta catch them all. Pokemon. Anybody? No.
Come on, man.
Pokemon's
dead, dude. Pokemon's dead.
Oh man, Pokemon, dude. Moving on to the next slide here too. So our guy right here, Nico Reed.
Yep.
So the cornerback room is an interesting one. And some people even kind of call it as a room that we might not have the most depth in, or at least we might have a weaker point to it. I think that's a little bit of an overstatement in my opinion.
Yeah.
We got some really good guys out there. Dante Jackson to Tarheeb Still to Cam Hart to even to say Benjamin St. Juice is an interesting one. I'm kind of want to keep an eye on too in this game. And I hope to be able to see some big things from him. And I know this week in practice, he did get some interceptions too, I think on Trey Lance. But Nico Reed's a guy that really is out there, and we love the guy from basically the Hall of Fame game. I mean, what he did in that game was incredible. And I will say that the thing about this defense too, even if you look at the last couple games, I mean, even the last game, we should have had 4 picks. We had a big boy pick pretty much in that one.
Yeah, we did.
But this cornerback room is going to be aggressive, and they're going to jump the passes quite a bit or jump the routes quite a bit. I feel like that's something that we're looking for. And Nico Reed's one of those guys that has the ability to really make those abilities to go out there and just make plays. And I'm interested to see more from him. And he sounds like he is going to be out there playing too, all around. So I'm excited to see him and see if maybe he could make another statement type situation. Now I'll go to the next slide just because it's about cornerbacks too. But Eric Rogers, he should be out there too, and he sounds like he's been practicing this week too.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah. So he's been kind of lightly practicing and everything too. But I think regardless about what he showed, I mean, he's got the size ability, he's got the ability to recognize a route, jump a route, make great plays and everything too. I think there's a great chance that he's going to still find his way on the practice squad minimum. I don't think he's on a 53-man squad, but he's going to find a way on the practice squad. So cornerback room is going to be one to watch for sure in this one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about that. Nico Reed, remember, why do people go undrafted, right? He was a very good corner, but he's undersized. And some of the argument is like, well, he doesn't play run defense really well. He doesn't do this and that, takes plays off. Look, when you're evaluating players, you're evaluating what you have on film for a player. And sometimes what people see, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Sometimes they might say, well, this guy fits our scheme. Again, right now we play a lot of zone. He's more of a press man guy, but he's also 5'9" or 5'10", right? So people say, well, if you're press man, you should probably be a little bit bigger than that. And so anyways, there's a whole lot of conversations, but he's a good in zone. And then this guy Rogers looks really good too. So, from Rutgers, right? He's looked awesome. Yep. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this whole conversation progresses and who really makes the squad. But guys, like it's pretty amazing seeing these undrafted free agents do so well. Yeah. And are we going to see a guy, if let's say they do get cut and try to get squeezed on the practice squad? It's funny, man. We all thought Mike Bandy was going to get picked up. You remember Mike Bandy way back in the days, and he made it to the practice squad, and he was killing it in preseason. So I don't know. It's. I think a lot of people like the players they want, right? And they're probably more concerned about the people getting on their practice squad because they're cutting down as well. So you could be okay. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, we got a super chat from Aether. How we doing?
What's up, Aether, my guy?
You want to go with this one, James?
Sure. I have a question. If the Chargers won the Super Bowl, Alt at left tackle, will Slater get his job back? I say no. What do you say? Let's go. Yeah. I mean, you put 140 million or 121 million or whatever you pay for Slater.
It's a lot of money.
Technically, his contract is you could cut him after 2026, and you will have a cap savings at that point. It was a very front-loaded contract.
Yeah,
I think they definitely
interesting.
Well, yeah, it was interesting, but it was also kind of a cap-friendly situation too for us, which was really weird to see. You look at the big number and you're like, holy smokes, whole heck of a lot of money. Rashawn Slater is one of the top tackles in the league. I mean, he's obviously the highest paid tackle in the league for a reason. I think he's definitely going to make it happen still to be a left tackle. I think there is no way that he's basically going to lose his job. Now, Alt natural position is left tackle, and so I understand your argument to that too. But I think Rashawn Slater is still find his way as left tackle. Now, maybe there might even be a possibility of a trade, which would be a little bit of an interesting situation.
Yeah, how crazy would that be? Oof,
yeah,
boy.
But hey, I told you about the dream that I had the other day, where it was like all of a sudden, like a season's getting close to start, and next thing you know, they traded off Khalil Mack and they traded off Justin Herbert. I was so like, I had no idea what is going on with my world right now around the Chargers. And then Trey Lance goes up on the podium. He's like, yes, I'm quarterback one now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy smokes, what is going on here? So anything's possible, but I think Slater is going to basically be starting left tackle. You don't pay him all that money to just put him as a left tackle. That's left tackle money, not right tackle money.
It is. But also, again, we'll have to see how it plays out. Again, hypotheticals are always interesting. You just never know how they play out. But at this point, look, I would just say this: Rashawn Slater he's a unique player. Now, let's just say one thing: it's the same injury that J.C. Jackson had, and it took him a long time to come back. So, I just get really nervous about his ability to come back and be 100% the way he was prior to the injury. A ruptured patella tendon is not easy to come back from.
Not easy. Not easy.
So that, but I think if there's a person that can do it, it's Rashawn Slater. I mean, that guy works out really hard, and his base is strong. Look, he'll be back. But we'll see what happens, right? So let's just hope we have no more major injuries this season. That would be very nice. Very nice, folks.
Please. Please. We don't want any more of those issues. I mean, that's the thing that as Chargers fans, we've gone through a whole heck of a lot. Let's get a bone thrown our way every now and then.
Yeah, that would be kind of nice, right? Can some other teams get some major injuries rather than us?
Please.
That would be nice.
But I think that's an interesting proposal. We'll see where it goes. Now, speaking of the tackle position, and this is a guy that I've been, for some reason this week, I kept thinking a lot about. And the reason why is because they moved him more to the tackle position this week, which is actually when he was drafted this year, he was a tackle coming out of Pitt, but Branson Taylor.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to hopefully watch him on the field in this game. I'm thinking he's number 71. I'm interested to see what he looks like as a tackle for us, because he's been playing a lot more guard for us at this point. But he is definitely going to be a guy that will be able to be a potential tackle for us at some point. And why is it important? Well, we lost Rashawn Slater. Now you start thinking about the depth. You got Pipkins at the right tackle, and then you got basically Jamari Sawyer, if you want to say, in the right tackle at that point. And then it's kind of where do you go from there at that point? Branson Taylor, like if he goes out there and plays like right tackle or left tackle in this game, definitely is going to be a guy that I watch a lot in this one, because I want to see his progress and where he could be. This guy is a big dude. Remember that. Like he is a massive guy. And even to just kind of go a little bit further about like the cornerback room, we got a lot of guys that are like 6'2" type dudes. And it's making me feel like either Harbaugh or Jesse Minter wants taller cornerbacks. And then we all know that it seems like Jim Harbaugh wants huge offensive linemen. I mean, Branson Taylor is 6'6", 321. I mean, this guy's a big dude, and he was even slated to be potentially a 4th round pick before he got injured, which he had a knee injury last year. But I'm interested to keep an eye on him. So if there's another guy you want to look at with the offensive line, potentially for the future, this would be another guy to keep an eye on too.
Yeah. And so the other thing too is I know, I think it was Joe Ortiz talked quite a bit about him and how he was actually, they had him slated very high, but the injury held him back. Right. And again, you know, unfortunately, these injuries can really affect your ability to be drafted. And that's why he slipped as far as he did, because you couldn't evaluate him correctly, yada, yada. So it's going to be interesting too. But I think Branson Taylor, I mean, hell, there might even be some time we get another injury. He might be out there. I mean, he might be out there this year. So he's definitely probably our swing tackle. We'd really, you know, I'd love him not to be out there. I'd love Zion to have a bounce back season.
Great.
Going to have a bounce back season. That'd be great. But, you know, the good news is I would say this, with Keenan Allen being back, with Ladidi McConkey and the emergence of these young rookie wide receivers, I think Justin Herbert's not going to need to hold the ball as long as he needs. So I would just assume, again, all these routes are this way, right? You got the short route. If there's a blitz, you hit this guy. If it's, you know, just a 4-man rush, you got a little more time, go to a little deeper. But I just can see some of those guys just working the very bottom of the field, and we could do a little chunk plays here and there. You know, if the line starts getting a little leaky, which I really hope it doesn't get to that. Oh man,
please do not. Please do not.
We get hurt. I just, one good year of him being healthy would just be so nice to see.
Agreed. And I did put a prediction out this year. I think Justin Herbert's going to be a healthy year, and this is going to be his most healthiest year. Now, that was when I talked a lot about Rashawn Slater being on this O-line, and now things get a little bit chippy at this point. Now,
yeah.
I will say right now, there's a lot of trades going on in the NFL because a lot of guys are potentially going to get cut. And, you know, they kind of know they're not going to have them on the 53-man squad or whatever it might be. So they're just trying to get whatever they can out of there. I proposed to my bros here. I said, man, how sweet would it be to go after a guy like a Quentin Nelson from the Colts? And he's one of the best guards in the league. And if you do a swap of picks and then you also basically trade off, say, Zion, put him at left guard with Quentin Nelson, instantly that inside of that O-line is completely fixed at that point. In my opinion, that will be absolutely a monster move. Now, generally you don't trade a lot of offensive linemen at this point in the career or in the year, but you never know. Reason why I'm bringing that up is because he talked about when they decided to go with Daniel Dimes as a quarterback. That is his 12th quarterback since he's been with that team. And he talked about it, and he's like, I am really frustrated on this because you're going from a guy that you picked high recently with, you know, Richardson, which that could be definitely a bust at that point with Anthony Richardson.
It's a mess, bro. Like, what a freaking mess. Oh,
crazy, right?
It's embarrassing. Oh, I'm tired. Can you take me out of the game? Like, bro, you're tired? What the hell is this all about? You're like, unbelievable.
Yeah, it trips me out. But if you go out there and just do a trade where if you make a bold move of Quentin Nelson, that instantly upgrades this offense even to a much higher level. And you got to set left guard at that point. So just throwing it out there, very, very hypothetical, but I'd love to be able to see a move like that happen. And you never know. You never know. A guy might just talk about it. He's like, I'm tired of this. And the Colts as a franchise has been very, very stagnant and not looking to do any bold moves by any means.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but yeah, we'll see. This is the week it's going to happen, guys. So next week we'll probably have some information. I'm assuming we make a move or two, right?
Yeah.
Like we did last year. What that looks like, your guess is as good as mine. And again, who knows? Maybe we trade off one of these running backs. Maybe part of the conversation is, hey, we move Naheem Miller-Hines, and then who knows, somebody else, or and a cornerback. Again, it frees up some space and we maybe get a person we really need. Right. So, anyways, it's exciting. I mean, and I'll say this, Ron Tabasco, AKA Tom Telesco, was a knucklehead, dude. That, again, water cooler guy, that guy did nothing.
Yep.
He's probably to take a call. Yeah. I don't know. He's just kind of a dope, and then at least Joe Ortiz is trying to make moves, trying to figure out, and like H4 says here, Moneyball, right? Let's get another guy. Let's see if we can get somebody else, and heck, maybe even get a trade, a draft pick next year. Let's trade off one of these running backs and get a fifth round pick somewhere.
Yeah.
So look, I'm curious to see how it plays out. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, and to go into a segue talking about the Niners, they made some trades, and they actually just made another one today too. So, so we'll talk about this one right now. Now, going into the Niners, last week they did play their starters. They did also have, what was his name? Oh gosh, I cannot remember his name. Mac Jones playing as basically as their quarterback 2 at this point. Yeah. Carter Bradley, I assume, is who you'll probably see a lot more in this game as a quarterback with them. Interesting situation that they got over there with wide receivers. Now, what did they end up doing? Well, they traded with the Chiefs, and they ended up going for getting Sky Moore as a wide receiver for their team. And reason why would they do that? Why would they do that? Well, Brandon Ayuk's out, and he's going to, I think, slated to come back week 6. You don't have Deebo Samuel anymore. He's with the Commanders. You start looking at Ricky Parcell as pretty much wide receiver 1 at that point, which I think he looked good last week too against the Raiders. He made some good catches and everything and looks good and solid. But they had to go out there and find a way to get some more players. It's funny, they do have Robbie Chosen over there. If you remember Robbie Anderson, he changed his last name to Chosen, and he made some plays too for the Niners last week. And he was kind of later in the game too. He wasn't playing with the starters from what I noticed. So Niners basically acquired Sky Moore from the Chiefs for a 2027 7th round pick in exchange for a 2027 6th rounder too. So basically kind of swapped positions in a sense for that one. Gave up a 6th or gave up a 7th for player. And then the Chiefs ended up getting a 6th essentially, or whatever it is. It's like a flip-flop of picks. So interesting situation there, but Sky Moore has been suited up with the Niners. He's been working a little bit on the sidelines. We'll see if he does get some play in this one too, but Niners got a lot of things going on with their wide receiver group.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I think bottom line, the Niners are an interesting team for me this year. I don't know that I expect a whole lot from them. But who knows, right? Like every team has new players, new ideas, and look, sometimes it's just staying healthy as well too, right? So it's going to be an interesting season, guys. I mean, I know we always want to talk trash about these other teams and such, but look, all these teams have got to get their roster constructed, and you start losing 1 or 2 guys, and this is why the depth is so important. If you don't have that depth to bring some other people on to actually just fill in the gaps and be halfway decent, you're going to really struggle. But I guess to the Niners' point, they lost Deebo. They didn't have many people. They know that, look, these wide receivers get injured, we're screwed, right? So they had to make a move, and it works well for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs actually have a lot of good weapons, so they can move him and probably be okay. But interesting conversation.
Yeah, interesting move there for the Niners and the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs got a whole heck of a lot of weapons there, so they got some dispensable, assets there for sure. So
Brian Robinson Jr.
And that's exactly where I was going right now. Go. So, there you go. So Brian Robinson Jr. got traded to the Niners. I believe it was for a 6th round pick. So it's funny. I've been talking with a buddy a lot about fantasy football in the whole Christian McCaffrey conversation. Like, yeah, okay, do you go after him when you have like a high round pick and you need a running back, and all they've said in camp. Oh, he looks great. He looks amazing. Blah, 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 blah. But I mean, when you kind of go out there and try to get another running back, and Brian Robinson Jr., I think, is a very good running back. He was kind of the guy there for a while, too. I mean, Austin Eckler's over there also, too, for the Commanders. And Niners go out there and go say, hey, we need to get some more depth on that running back room. And makes me feel about Christian McCaffrey might not be as healthy as I think he might be.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so interesting thing about the Commanders after making that trade. I mean, essentially Austin Eckler is almost like listed as RB1 now over there. But my guy who I was very, very high on in the draft, and I think ended up getting drafted late in the 7th round, is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt for the Commanders. He was a guy from University of Arizona, played extremely well in the East-West Shrine game. I believe got the MVP in that game too, has been showing out a lot. So I assume Ja'Cory is officially on that team for the Commanders. And they said, hey, Brian Robinson Jr. become expendable at that point. We're just going to get a pick out of you and move on kind of thing, which is kind of wild because I think Brian Robinson Jr. is a good running back. So the Niners basically are building off of that. And they're building a lot of running backs behind Christian McCaffrey, but maybe they just don't feel confident enough about Christian McCaffrey too in the running back room.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they don't feel comfortable with him. I mean, look, they're a running team. Yeah. It's a good example. We run the ball like they do, right? They're very much a gap run. I mean, they run zone too, and we'll run some zone, but we run a lot of gap. But look, bottom line, you're not getting that running game going. The passing game's not going to open up, and you're going to struggle. So, they injuries affect your season quickly, right? Very quickly. And so, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah. I think we're not going to see a whole lot of, we're going to see a lot of scrubs out there this game for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how much depth they have. I wasn't impressed when I saw them play last, so I'm expecting to see even worse showing this time. We should smoke them. That's what I think.
We should. I mean, we'll see what happens. I watched a lot of the Raiders-Niners game last week too, and the Niners, I think, didn't they beat they beat the Raiders last week, but
they did. Yeah,
I think going back to the whole conversation about our philosophy and our backups, they're showing basically our personality and our identity from top to bottom, and I think it'll be fun to watch this one too. So, I personally think it's going to be a little bit of a sloppier game for both teams.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be just a little bit off and on about what to expect with each quarterbacks. But I mean, it's going to be a lot of the back end players on this one, but it's a fun one too. Think about when Austin Eckler found his way onto the Chargers. This is the game that he basically figured that out and found his way on the team. And he's basically been in the NFL for a good amount of time now. I think he's probably on year 10, I think by now. So, so pretty close to that. So love to be able to see what happens with some of these backups and seeing if we could see that same physicality and seeing some of these guys just take their game to another level. So I'm excited for this one.
Yep, it's their opportunity to shine, man. I mean, they got to show the NFL that they deserve a spot. So it's going to be exciting. I love these preseason games. Some people are like, they're stupid. I'm like, nah. It's an opportunity to evaluate these young kids out there, trying to find a spot and a place where they can, potentially land and have a career in the NFL. I've always said this over and over again too. Sometimes it really matters what team you land on, right? Do you fit within that organization? And that's where you hope that team does a good enough job picking you as a player to be successful in their offense or their defense, right? Because I think sometimes teams go, like the Raiders did this all the time. Oh, this guy's a talent. We're just going to get talent, and you as a coach need to put him into that box and make him work. I'm like, well, that doesn't work that way, right? So anyways, I think there's a lot to be said about that. So my final thoughts, I think this is an exciting game. I'm excited to see DJ. I think he could be a very good quarterback. Again, I don't think he's 100% NFL ready, but let's see what he does against these 3s and 4s, right? And if he can move the ball downfield and look efficient, I'm excited to see what he can do. I kind of hope they give him the majority of the game, and let's see what some of these backups can do. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's about taking that opportunity and seizing the opportunity. And we've had a lot of guys on this team that have found ways to seize the opportunity. And this is the time for DJ to seize that true opportunity. Maybe solidify himself for a position on a team, not just our team, but maybe any other team that might need a quarterback out there.
Yep.
I mean, that's the whole thing about what's going on with preseason, especially game 4 for us Chargers. This is allowing them to show what they could do in game time situations. So I'm excited to see these guys, and I'm excited, really, to be honest, get past this one, find out what the 53-man squad truly is. I think we have a pretty good idea of what it's going to be at this point. But hey, let's get through this one. Let's see how these which players shine in this one. We named a couple players that actually seem to be a pretty good thing to keep an eye on. Cornerback room to Branson Taylor, I think, is a good one too, in the running back room. So I'm excited to basically see what happens with this one. So can't wait for it, guys. And by the way, I'm just going to throw it out there too. We got some new merch coming out here pretty soon. We just ordered some samples and such too. So we're seeing how it kind of all looks and everything too. So we got some new things kind of coming up onto our merch channel. So keep an eye out for it, guys.
Yep, 100%, guys. And again, one thing I'll say about the merch too, we don't want it to be expensive. We don't want it to be expensive for you. It's just, we like to have it for the channel for ourselves, but secondarily, if you did choose to want to do that as well, you can. It's an option for you, but we don't want it to be expensive, right? And so I don't think we're making hardly anything on it, but it's one of those things where if you want to support the channel, you can. Anyways, that's a good conversation for you. And by the way, I think Kyle said something about we are offering memberships now as well too. So we did talk a little bit about that as well. I think it's like $5 a month. If you did want to do a membership, you can, and then you could just you have special emojis and things as well too. So that's an option for you also. Don't forget that we're going to be on the AFC West podcast also on Tuesday at 4:30 Mountain, 3:30 Pacific. So we will be there. Yep.
I'm just going to show real quick on the merch if you want to take a look at it here. Here's a couple of new dad caps that we put together here, guys. So love it. It comes in a bunch of different colorways and everything too.
See, that's dope. I kind of like that. See, again, I go back to the white. That white looks great. But how long is it going to look good, dude? That's my problem with it. Like,
it's a floppy hat. It's easy to
it's like a disposable hat. You're like,
exactly. You could throw that in the washing machine anytime, dude. Anytime, boys. So
I like the black one right there. That black one looks pretty dope.
Really cool. So we also do have it in shirts too, if you want those. And we also will have a couple other hats too that we're kind of working on also.
Show off the other shirt colors as well too.
Shirt colors, for sure. So the shirt colors.
This looks way better. Oh, that's all right.
It's all good. So we got it in, boom, bam. So it's just kind of a standard athletic Heather to a Heather True Royal. So Heather,
that one's pretty dope. I kind of dig that one.
That is really good. It's a really good looking shirt. So, and this is just a baby blue
on the side too. I like the patch on the side.
So a nice little addition all around. And you can see kind of the patch right here too. So pretty cool.
Who's this doofus wearing the shirt though, dude? What's the deal
beats me, man? Beats me, dude. I don't know what he is, man. I don't know who he is, but anyways, we got some merch that we're kind of going to be pushing out too. We got some other things kind of coming out also too on top of that with those other logos and such too. So pretty good stuff, but we're going to keeping it rolling.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. We got to make a Padres version. So
we've been talking about it. About it.
So we got some more stuff coming as well too. So all right, guys, we're the Bolt Bros. We'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, guys, Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here, watching the Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night. LA Thunder and electric delight.